Yo, what's going on there, folks? And welcome to the wonderful world that is Etheria. Etheria, how is everybody doing today? Hadouken to your face. Welcome! So, I hear that people are having problems with Chaos 10. Yes, Chaos 10 is providing quite a good challenge for everybody to overcome. So let's have a quick little look at what it is that we have to tackle with Chaos 10, new Chaos enemy, the Orc War Party. So we have Vanguards. You all know what Vanguards are like. They do not like auras, traps, and nodes. But then we have Cyborgs. Great. Good times, yeah. So we got something that has shield against projectiles. We have something that likes to stun defenses, auras, traps, nodes. So everyone that's using their fissures and stuff, say goodbye to those. Berserkers. We have Hexors. We have Frosties in the mix here as well. Something new added into this Chaos 10 tier. We have a bunch of Frost mobs that we have to deal with as well. It doesn't say in here that there is actually Frost Gobus within this particular description here as well. But now we have oofed the Orc Chieftain. This big guy right here that you could see. The Orc Chieftain. Orc War Party. War Parties arrived. Look out for the deadly Orc Chieftain. That's this guy. The Berserker Goblin is actually this guy on the right. And the Orc Queen is this one on the left. Now, what does the Orc Chieftain do? When their health is low, they unleash a rallying war cry to grant themselves speed, healing over time, and near immunity. It's not 100%, but it's near immunity to damage and status ailments for several seconds. And I think it's roughly about 5 seconds that they last for the little rallying war cry. And not only that, nearby orcs and goblins have their speed and damage reduction increased. And they also gain healing over time. So just this one guy alone in here, just purely because of the fact that he has healing over time, he's quicker, and he has near immunity to damage and status ailments for a good duration of time, this guy provides a lot of problems. So we already have quite a big issue just with this guy, especially when he could buff the rest of the squad as well. It's mostly just the goblins and that, obviously, that he can heal though. So these guys, we got other shenanigans to worry about as well at the same time. So moving on to, we'll just go down the list here, the Berserk Goblin. So these guys have little bombs strapped to their back, and when these guys die, the bomb on their back likes to explode and it stuns everything. So auras, traps, and nodes really get impacted when facing against these guys, because it lasts, what, like 2 seconds or something as well. That 2-second downtime can clearly cause problems, you know, especially if you've got cyborgs in the mix as well, you know. Even if you're placing down fissures, for example, and then placing down a reflect beam, it's not going to matter with these guys. You know, obviously tenacity will help you out here, but you've got quite beefy and chunky enemies here that can buff people and immunity to damage and ailments, and yeah, like, so it's really not ideal for you to be doing something along those lines. Now the Orc Queen, oh, these goddamn Orc Queens, these are the predecessors to the Berserkers here as well. Now these guys are relentless. These guys can't be stopped, they can't be slowed down, they can't be stopped in any way, shape or form. So stunning, petrification, freezing, none of that works on these guys. So these, like, if you thought these guys were a problem, or these guys were a problem, these guys are just a bigger problem all in all. Like, this whole war party is quite rough. And the fact that you also have Frosties in the mix too. I mean, these are naturally, like, apart from these Vanguards, these enemies here are just annoying to deal with. Just in general, I feel like just annoying. And you've got Frosties in the mix and Frosty Gobus, like, you got issues. You definitely have issues when you're trying to fight these guys. So let's get into the nitty gritty that everybody would love to know about. So what are we going to do? I've just gave you the full description on what it is that these guys do. How are we going to deal with them? Easy. Oh my god. It's a wall. Oh my god, have you ever seen something so beautiful before? It's a wall. We've got walls in the mix. So we can stop those orc queens, the orc chieftain, and yeah, pretty much just keeping everything back and within a specific defense set up. So, what do we have on the wall? Simple. Accumulator for the mod, hardened servo, and protective downgrade. Very simple mods to come across, easy to come by, very good stuff. Now, we have auto repair system, restores the tower HP after a certain amount of time. We also have automation as well. Now these two are very important, very, very, very important. Well, all three of these are actually very important. But the automation, each time your defense attacks, it heals for a certain percentage of its max health. So if something's banging away on this, when this starts spinning up and leveling up, this is just going to keep healing when something's smacking away on it. Granted, it's only for a certain amount of seconds that it will be doing it for, but 0.7 seconds, I mean, it's very fast. It's very, very fast. And combined with auto repair on top of it as well, I've seen these guys drop down, I don't know, maybe like 10 million or so, and then all of a sudden, all the way back up again. Yeah, all the way back up again. So, and then we have Juggernaut. Increases the defense health of the affected tower by 70%, and increases the damage resistance by 20%. So not only have we got a damage resistance here from the hardened servo, we also have Juggernaut here, which is increasing that as well. So super good setup here as well. Protective downgrade, obviously if you're going around upgrading your walls, if somehow it gets destroyed, it will just drop down a tier, and you know, you could still survive. So shoving mana into a wall is important, but you don't. It depends on how strong it is that you are, whether or not if you're actually going to use it or not. Now, moving on to the next thing that we have to deal with. So we have a wall that's going to help us against our orc chieftains and also the orc queens as well. Yeah, we have stuff that has immunity, stuff that can't be stopped, stuff that can't be slowed, so we need something to basically keep these guys at bay. That's why we are pretty much going with a wall. Now, although we have all this extra damage resistance on the wall, we need more. You know, like 29 million HP is almost like nothing to these guys. So we're gonna bust out a reflect beam, because we also have to deal with hex throwers and frost gobus as well. So we need something to help protect us from those guys when they're just sitting back trying to launch away at this wall. So we have a reflect beam down. So we're going to maximize what it is that we could do with the reflect beam. Now, there is currently a new mod that you can grab from the pool of mods, and it's called Anti-Heal Servo. Reduce the healing of enemies by 100%. This is very, very good when it comes down to the orc chieftains, when they grant the immunity and healing of the mobs that surrounds it. This basically just stops them from healing. They might be slightly immune to damage for a couple of seconds or so, but then once that immunity drops off, they'll just die because they don't have any more HP within their HP pool for you to burn through before, you know, you're giving these guys a chance to heal back up again and proc their ability. So this just helps, like, as soon as they proc their ability once, they'll get to the wall, they'll smack it on a bit, and then after that, as soon as their debuff is gone, their war cry, they will die. So we've got anti-healing, defense rate, and tenacity. We've got cyborgs in the mix. Defense rate, we're just keeping the attack rate of the tower up as well, because we are going with a shattering torpedo to bring home the earth damage as well. We'll get more into that in a second. But we have health pylon. Increases the health of nearby towers to 136%. Fantastic. So this was originally 29 million HP over here. So we get a nice big chunk of extra HP that we can have on the training dummy. Absolutely fantastic. We also have a vicious strike shard in here as well, because we're looking to maximize the range of the reflect beam as well. If you notice in the bottom corner it says attack range of 800. Just simply putting a vicious strikes in here will max that out. So of course, again, we're back to the shattering torpedo. We'll want to maximize the range of this earth damage that we are getting on these explosions. As you can see, the big boom 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 that we have going on here. Absolutely fantastic. So stuff that's away out like here-ish, where it is that I am, will start taking that earth damage. So it's good stuffs. So what can we do to help out this blockade even more? Well, the almighty monk, the almighty pocket monk, as we will, the omni pocket monk, as we will start calling it now. Oh look, more HP on the wall. It went up to 50 mil. Nani! Nani, not at all. That is because we are going with a boost aura. Hopefully your boost auras are squared away where they have range on them. Please say they do, because you really should have diverse power, diverse crit damage, and range. We have boosted blockade in the mix. Increases the health by 26%. So we were at 39%. Well, 39 million here. And then just adding this guy in cracks this up to 50. Somehow it just rounds up the number right there, which is fantastic. So we have health pylon on here, increasing HP. We have the boosted blockade that's also increasing the HP of the tower here. And if you didn't know about boost auras, yeah, it actually comes with damage protection as well, with 10% too. So the wall that initially has hardened on it gives it 30% more resistance. Yeah, we also have the Juggernaut shard that's also giving it damage resistance as well. So we're already at 50% there. And then we take the boost aura as well that has 10% more as well on top of it. That's just fantastic, correct? Like, so this thing should be able to take a whole bunch of extra damage while it's getting pummeled on. And when it's getting pummeled on, it's just going to be healing a lot because of automation and also the healing from the auto repair too. So you're going to get a lot of healing from this tower, and it's going to be able to take a good beating from mobs as well. You're going to be able to smack on that thing a good amount before it actually dies. Now getting back to the boost aura, again we've got the boosted blockade. We're going with a destructive pylon to save us on DU, because what we are placing down is actually pretty expensive already. It's a lot of mana. DU, sorry. We have boosted power in the mix as well. Now, you can swap out this boosted power if you like for what is the new shard within Chaos 10. There's a bit of a bug going on right with Rage Pylon at the moment, so hopefully you guys have been able to get this. But increases the defense range of nearby defenses by 128%. Now, it actually all depends on what it is that you're actually building back here. We'll cover that here right now. If you have something back here that is doesn't really almost seem like it has enough range to get out to tackle the mobs in the back, range pylon in here will help you out to increase the range of your towers. So you won't really need to focus on like your deadly strikes and stuff like that for the towers it is that you place back here. You know, you could simply have your range pylon shard within here. So you'll have destructive pylon and range pylon in here, which is a nice little combo. But if you feel like your towers have plenty enough range and you just would like to have the extra power, then boosted power is the shard for you within the setup. So boosted blockade, again, we're increasing the health of our wall. We have destructive pylon so that whenever we place anything else around it, it's just going to be getting a nice buff of damage. And then the boosted blockade just helps the defense power of the tower itself. You've got, again, you've got a couple of options that you can put in here. If you're somebody with a lot of ascension, it's filled in as well. You can go with a vampiric empowerment in here as well. It's another option that you could choose to use as well. Boosted power does fine though. Yeah, range pylon again, like, so it's totally fine. You can't add in another destruction on top of this destructive pylon. It just will not work, as it says in the description. Does not stack with destruction or power pylon. So there's no point in trying to put another destruction here because it doesn't work. It doesn't stack with it. So there's nothing that you could really do about that. So there you go. Now this is just the basic. This is just simply the basic thing for building that we need to do in order to help us tackle just these two mobs here. The Orc Chieftain and the Orc Queen. And then the Berserker Goblin here will just simply, hopefully, just die or run smack into this wall. And then, you know, he'll set down his little stun stuffs. And yeah, everything should be okay. 9 times out of 10 though, this boost aura usually goes down, but it's down for just like a second or two, so it's really not that much. Like, that's why I built this the way that I built this. This is how you should be building this. So the reflect beam should just be in front of this little blue line here that you can see when you're holding shift to check the range, because hexors like to throw at the base of a wall whenever they're trying to launch at it. So putting it down here is perfect. Yeah, because of hexors having an AoE with their javelins, you really need to make sure that like you get this reflect beam placement squared away. You'll play around with it a bit and you'll eventually get it figured out. So just to reiterate again, our wall to stop the Orc Chieftains, to stop the Orc Queens, we've got to make them nice and healthy. We have a bunch of damage protection that's going on here as well. We have our anti-heal to stop the Orc Chieftain for when he procs his war cry, rallying cry, sorry. And yeah, and this is just simply the basic of the build. This is almost the be all, the end all of what it is that you're doing right here. But I will currently show you the meta that it is that I am running with at the moment. It can change as of the recording of this video, because we're actually waiting for a patch. The Magnetic Knight Tower from the Engineer. Just 2 of these bad boys takes us up to 160 DU. But yeah, we're rocking with the wonderful, magnificent looking Magnetic Knight Towers. Your Flame Aura Relics, your melee chaos and defense rate. Grab those bad boys off of there if you happen to not have one. I happen to have another one that I made here specifically for this. We have chaos, melee, defense rate. I am currently rocking enhanced throw, increases defense range of the Magnetic Knight, and increases the defense damage as well. I am currently using sharpened spear at the moment. This is another unique shard to this specific tower. Magnetic Knight Tower has a 20% chance on hit to cause the target to bleed. 50% of your tower damage stat as magical damage each second for 5 seconds. So this is something completely new that we have never had in the game before, and it was very nice to see something like this as well. It has bleed. This is the first time that we've ever had something that does a bleed dot damage, so we have something completely new that we need to be trying to add into the mix to see how it goes, how it functions, how it happens. You know, bleeding targets now, we've got burning targets, we've got petrification, you know, bleeding. That's kind of nice to have something new. Nice new little thing to play with. But you do not need to use sharpened spear. Simply having destruction and mass destruction within your setup if you are feeling like your defense power is running a bit low. So currently mine are at 13 mil right here with the destruction, mass destruction. If I take this back out and then I put this bad boy back in here, you can see I'm down to 9 million for the DPS. The attack damage 7.13 mil. Now, the thing about the tooltips for the javelins is it's actually double the DPS which you see, because the javelin goes out and then it comes back again. It damages on the way out and back. So this thing actually does double the DPS that you could see from this tooltip. These things are very misleading when it comes round to, let's say, the damage that's on these guys. Yes, very misleading all in all. And there you go. Simply having your gear as high as you could possibly have it so that you can have the pet empowerment here. Make sure you have that across all heroes is that you have, yeah, as much as you possibly can. Get the defense health cranked up as much as you possibly can here. My weapons my weapons are low here, so that's why this guy isn't as high as he is for some of the other heroes right here. Yeah, make sure that your waller has health, defense health. Make sure here has the defense power as well for it. But yeah, magnetic neck tower in the back. It's 160 DU right now. We can squeeze out another 40 more DU, and how are we going to do said thing? With a spider. With a spider. So this is how I like to build my C10 setup. This is it right here. Yeah. I have a poison spider all the way up front, right behind this wall. All the way up, right behind it. Why? Well, it's because it's basically my proton poison relic that I made ages ago. Tenacity, poison, defense rate. Tenacity, well, we have those little goblin berserkers. These guys like to stun stuff. Well, they ain't going to be stunning no nether spiders today, are they? We have the earth inside the reflect beam as well, so we're going to have a petrification cranking out from these lovely little spiders as well. Augmented explosions, destruction, mass destruction. Very simple setup. Tenacity, poison, defense rate. Poison obviously gives us a petrification. Tenacity, the goblins will not be stunning this. Defense rate, obviously we need that to keep the defense attacking as high as it possibly can. And there you go. That is pretty much what it is that I am running for Chaos 10 right now. I need to reiterate this, that these guys right here are pretty broken. These guys are really strong. Don't expect nerf bat of goodness to be coming into these guys, because they are just ridiculously strong right now. I can actually run maps with just this setup. Just this. It's crazy how effective this is, but it is what it is. Now, you can build this many different other ways as you see fit as well. Another good way that you could build this is actually just massacring with spiders. Oh, sorry. I forgot to cover this one little bit of tidbit of information as well. Spiders, when they hit mobs, they actually reduce the damage it is that they can do. So these things can. There's one of the other reasons why we have a spider in here as well, is because we're decreasing the damage that the mobs can do too. So that's why we have a spider within the setup as well. Petrification. Spiders are just solid all round. Really good damage. They can strip mobs of their strength as well. So super good, super handy. These guys also get out there to take out the hex doors as well. This is where the range pylon could essentially come in handy for you within your boost aura setup. These guys are maxed out in range though, so technically these guys don't need it, but putting in a range pylon simply just for these guys to take out some of the hex doors and that are sitting out front, I mean, just go and shoot them, go and take care of them. You know, there's no reason for you not to be going and taking care of those guys. So there's the setup. Yeah, and again, these guys are 40 DU, these magnetic knights. So you placing down 40 DU defenses is going to be more ideal for you overall. Spiders are great. You can, again, simply moving proton beam relics over to spiders would be a fantastic idea. So that's one option that you can have for yourself. Try and add in a spider just overall for those that feel like they're super weak right now. It's really handy to use those. But yeah, you basically can spam down whatever it is that you feel like back here. Anything at all. Whatever it is that you feel like, you can spam down here. Just try and keep within the threshold of the 200 DU if possible. Try not to go over that. You know, so right here, if I place down 2 railguns, we might want to switch up some of the shards, so then we can maximize the damage potential that we can get from these railgun towers as well. We've got destructive pylon within the setup here for the boost aura. You might want to take that out of here and put it, say, on a frost strike instead, you know. So then that way you can get this get the buff of the destructive pylon onto the boost aura and onto these. So in turn, you're just going to be making all these super strong, super powerful. It's another good idea and way to think about it, yeah, when it comes round to it. And then obviously, like, I mean, this guy has range pile on him right now, so you know it's super handy. You can see when it kicks in as well. super good, handy and effective. So railgun towers you can smack down. There is lightning Tesla coils. You could put down a couple of Tesla coils in that as well. These things work fantastically good as well. Chi towers as well. Chi towers are good as well. Absolutely fantastic towers to use as well. I mean, I could just kind of almost like keep going here. Like anything that's 40 DU, it'd be more ideal to use. Like poison dart towers as well, super effective with the new shard it is that they have called broadhead arrows C10. These things are kind of broken right now as well. I'm not gonna lie, these things are super strong. Like there's more stuff that you could spam down as well, like sand vipers as well. Like if you haven't tried that sand vipers and that yet too, like these guys, oofed sand vipers, so good and spicy. Yeah, like the archers, like archers as well. Back in the day too, get some archer hotness going on down there as well. Anything that's like hopefully like 40 DU defenses, that's something that you could be adding in as well. Absolutely fantastic. I would probably give the high suggestion of maybe placing down either a spider or a poison dart tower first, just so that you can add in that petrification that you have with your shattering torpedo for your reflect beam. Get the debuff on the mobs with the spider as well, and then you're free to basically just choose whatever other tower it is that you would like to choose back here. And yeah, like you should be okay, but there's genuinely a whole load of bunch of options. It is that you could basically pick and choose whatever it is that you would like to place down back here, as long as you can get the basics down for this. Like this is the basics right here. Everything we've covered from the wall, the shards, the reflect beam, the boost aura, and then everything else is at your own discretion really. You could use whatever it is that you like to use. Yeah, just go for it. Like as long as you can get this down. Again, you could just simply follow here, you know, with this particular build here and have at it. Poison dart towers, super effective. Chi towers, super effective. Anything from the engineer is super effective. Tesla coils are great. Dragons, if you're a big dragon fan as well. A couple of dragon's nests too. And I would actually highly suggest that you actually add in an oil catapult as well. It does kind of break the threshold for the 220, but dragon's nests aren't too bad at taking out flyers. So you kind of can go in on the DU that you would essentially be leaving to deal with flyers, you know, because these guys will have I mean they've just got massive range in general, so these guys are able to pick things apart. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully I was able to cover everything and we were able to talk about the stuffs and the things. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Feel free to let me know if there's other stuffs and things that you would like for me to cover. But that's going to be it. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night. Take care, and we will catch us all later in the wonderful world that is etheria. Hot look into your face. Le boop. Ew. Oh, see ya.